So there was a report come out about standardized testing, and I'm highly against standardized testing. Let me tell you why. You have one test that can label a child for their education. I'd rather look at your schoolwork and look at your daily tests, your tests once a week. Like, I would look at the pattern of what you're doing. I'd rather judge you more so off your grade point average than this one test. Because there are some children that get anxiety when they take standardized testing. And this one test, like the SAT or the ACT, that one test can judge if you can get into college or not. And I don't think that's right. I think that you should be judged off of your GPA. You should be judged off of all the testing over time, because when those kids take that test, it's a lot of pressure on them to do so. And we know a lot of children in this country have been miseducated. Case in point, they were saying that a lot of black students admitted into New York's most selective elite public high schools has stayed at the center of years-long debate among parents and politicians and local educational officials, battling by a persistent gap between those students and those of other groups. So they said, according to the New York Department of Education, data shows that enrollment of black, and they said also Latino, students as top tier schools has remained largely unchanged. Because we ever talked about this before, that Asians were complaining that black students were getting in these top tier schools. Now, it's amazing how it's okay for them to get in and want to complain on us, but all has the tables have turned since that time period. Now people looking at y'all a little with the side eye now. See, you ought to be careful when you're throwing dirt on people, because there's the same group also that don't want affirmative action, and they would have never got nowhere without affirmative action. But now they got their little political clout up and they tied in. Now they say, oh, we don't want affirmative action because we feel we are the model minority, or we are honorary white. Well, Corona has changed that game, has it? So they're saying why black and Latinos account for 7 in 10 of the city's public high schools. It said recent admission statistics comprise of 11.1% of those accepted into the elite schools for the 20 and 21 school year. That's only a 0.5% jump from last year. So it said New York's most segregated school system in the nation is for black students, and the second is for Latinos, of course. But some things will change in New York now. New York has a bigger problem than discriminating against black children right now. See, I'm looking at this thing going on in this country as definitely setting some of the records straight. See, you can't have no privilege with this virus. See, your color doesn't make you better with this. Your color don't save you. See, you'll have the unfair things going on. And right now, school is closed. But we're talking about this because we still having the same issues and problems with the education of black children. Now, I say admission into New York City's best public schools reported merit-based. However, the consistent dismissal in acceptance rates of black children has led education officials to suspect standardized testing, which determine the placement of students at these elite high schools, as a culprit for the lack of diversity. Okay? And we know that. They have been proven that these tests are structured in a way to discriminate against black children. And this is why they have standardized testing. Everything in this system is built on color and how to discriminate, giving white the top and, those who they deem as underneath them, a better advantage than black children. But as of right now, as we see in this nation, they got a bigger problem going on, and they need to make sure to set things equally. But they always going to do that in this system. That's why we need to have a mass movement against standardized testing. Standardized testing should not be the key of you getting inside of a school. Because let's say if you got a high grade point average, that average should be, okay, if you got this grade point average, you should be able to apply to this elite school. Not, okay, you got this high grade point average because this child has anxiety or something about standardized testing and they don't do good. Oh, well, so you can't get in this school, but you got the grades, but you can't get it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm so highly against any state test or any kind of test to say, do this one test and then you get into this school. No, that's how they do everything they can, ladies and gentlemen, to keep out our children. That's why. And that's why we have to take a stand against that at the local level, state level, and also federal level. We got to definitely take a stand against that. But leave me a comment, let me know what you think about the situation with our children in these elite schools in New York. It's still the same thing is going on. You know, nothing is changing, but we have a different issue right now in school. But when these things do get back to going back to normal, because it will eventually, then how are we going to approach this and stop allowing our children to be looked at as less than when they actually have the grades, but maybe the standardized testing can cause issues and problems. And also, I believe that our children should be evaluated when it comes to standardized testing to see how they respond to it, because some people have major anxiety to testing.